Welcome back to Olympic Stadium, and the batting orders for today are as follows. For the visiting Baltimore Orioles, Al Bumbry will lead off in center field. Glenn Gulliver bats second at third base. Ken Singleton bats third and is the designated hitter. Eddie Murray bats fourth at first base. John Lowenstein bats fifth in left field. Cal Ripken bats sixth at third base. Dan Ford bats seventh in right field. Joe Nolan bats eighth and does the catching. And Rich Dower will bat ninth and play second base. The pitcher for the Orioles today in Game 2, Dennis Martinez. For the Montreal Expos, leading off and playing left field, Tim Raines. Batting second, playing first base, Al Oliver. Batting third, playing center field, Andre Dawson. Batting fourth and catching, Gary Carter. Batting fifth and the designated hitter for the Expos today is Jerry White. Batting sixth and playing third base, Tim Wallach. Batting seventh and playing right field, Warren Cromartie. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, Chris Spire. And batting ninth and playing second base, Doug Flynn. The pitcher for Montreal, I had 1-0 in the series, is Charlie Lee. We're ready to get this thing started. The Orioles looking to get a good start and get on the board early and hopefully go back to Baltimore with dead even in the series, 1 game apiece. That's their goal. To do that, they're going to have to beat Lee, who's a tough customer. Leading off for Baltimore, Al Bumbry. Bumbry swings against Lee's offering and comes up with nothing. A strikeout to start the game. Glenn Gulliver, third baseman. He steps in against Lee. The pitch to Gulliver is a fly ball to center. That's going to be taken by Andre Dawson, and that's 2 outs. Ken Singleton steps in and draws a walk. Lee walks his first man of the day. 2 outs. 1 man on. Ken Singleton on first. Eddie Murray. Murray takes ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch to Murray is a strikeout. Lee strikes out 2, and we go to the bottom of the first, and there's no score. Tim Raines leads off for Montreal. Yesterday, Raines 0 for 3 with a walk. Raines swings at Martinez first offering and lines a base hit to right. He's on board with a single. Raines very fast and an excellent base stealer. Takes his lead off first. The pitch to Oliver is a fly ball to right field. That's going to be Dan Ford, and he's going to make the play. 1 out. Raines is going to go. Here's the steal. He's in there. Stolen base for Raines in the first inning. Dawson at the plate. Expos looking to go up 2-0. The pitch to Andre. He rips one down the line. That's past Gulliver. That's in the corner. Lowenstein digs it out, but Raines scores, and Dawson ends up on second with a double. Gary Carter is up with 1 out. Dawson on second. The pitch to the pitch to Carter is a ground ball towards second. That's going to be taken by Dower, and he throws to Murray for the out. But Dawson moves to third with 2 outs. Jerry White. We have Dawson on third with 2 outs. DH Jerry White. Ground ball second base, that's also Dower, and he will throw to Murray, and the Expos settle for 1 run. After 1 inning, they lead 1-0. The Orioles come to bat in the top of the second against Charlie Lee. Left fielder John Lowenstein leads off, and he strikes out. Third strikeout for Lee. 1 down. 1 down. Whoops. 1 down in the second. Cal Ripken. Ripken lifts 1 to center. 2 outs. As Dawson takes it. Dan Ford against Lee. He lifts 1 to right, and that's going to be Cromartie, and that's going to be 3 outs. The Orioles fail to score in the second. We go to the bottom of the second. The Expos lead 1-0. Tim Wallach leads off for the Expos. The pitch to Timmy is a fly ball to left. 1 down. Cromartie. Cromartie with 1 man out. Nobody on against Dennis Martinez. Cromartie lines a hit to right. He's on board. There's 1 out. There's 1 on for Chris Spire. Spire comes to the plate. And he hits 1 to center. Bumbry is moving to his left, but he will take it for out number 2. And that means Cromartie returns to first base with 2 outs and 1 man on. Cromartie on first. Doug Flynn takes the bat and steps in, and we have our first range check. That's to third. Gulliver makes the play and throws to first, and that retires the side in the second. We have a Montreal 1-0 lead for Montreal after 2 innings. Joe Nolan will lead off. Nolan wraps a base hit. This one goes to left field, and he's aboard with a single off Charlie Lee. Rich Dower. Boy, the Orioles are cold. The Orioles are ice cold. Dower. The pitch to Dower is a fly ball to left field. Raines is going to take this one. That's 1 out. Nolan retreats to first. Al Bumbry steps in against Lee. The pitch to Al is a base hit up the middle. Nolan gets to second, and he will stop there. There's runners on first and second with 1 out, and that's Glenn Gulliver coming to the plate. Gulliver swings and hits 1 down the line, just foul past Oliver, and he is in there for the next pitch. The pitch from Lee to Gulliver is ball 4. I'm sorry, it's ball 2. Ball 2 to Gulliver. We're at 2 balls and 1 strike. 2 balls and 1 strike to Gulliver. The pitch to Glenn. That's ball 4. And that loads the bases. The Orioles have loaded the bases with 1 out. They trail 1-0. Ken Singleton is at the plate. He's an excellent double play target. The Expos are at double play depth. And the pitch to Ken is a strikeout. Lee strikes him out. That's 2 outs. and 4 strikeouts for Lee in 3 innings. Cleanup hitter Eddie Murray with the bases loaded. Great chance for Baltimore. And he hits a ground ball to first. That's Oliver, who's going to take it unassisted for 3 outs. We go to the bottom of the third, and it's Montreal 1, Baltimore nothing. Raines single, stole a base, and scored in first. And this time he hits a fly ball to center field. Bunbury on the run into the gap. He's got it. Nice play by Al Bunbury. And there's 1 out. Al Oliver hits a fly ball to right. That's going to be Dan Ford. Disco Dan, if you will. And that's 2 outs. Andre Dawson coming to the plate. With 2 outs and nobody on, the Expos center fielder swings and hits a shot. That's going to be trouble. Base hit. 2 for 2 for Dawson. And Carter steps in. Carter comes to the plate. With 2 outs, Carter swings and lines a base hit. That's in the left field. Lowenstein takes it, and Dawson gets to third. The throw comes into second. We have runners at the corners for the Expos with 2 outs. Jerry White. The pitch to White is a strikeout. Martinez gets out of the mess. It's 1-0 as we head to the top of the 4th. The batters this inning for Baltimore, Lowenstein, Ripken, and Ford. Lowenstein had a great year in '82, for sure. And he hits a ground ball to Spire. Spire pick loves it and throws to Oliver. 1 out. Ripken. Cal Ripken. He lines a shot down the third baseline past Wallach. He's going to cruise into second with a double, and that's going to bring Ford up with a chance to drive in the tying run with 1 out. Ripken on second takes his lead. The pitch to Ford. The pitch to Ford is ball 4. We have 2 on, 1 out for Joe Nolan. Nolan singled in his only other at-bat in the third. 1 for 1 today. Chance to tie the game. Chance to get into a double play. The pitch to Nolan is a fly ball to Dawson. Is Ripken going to try and advance to third? He is not. And that's going to bring up Dower. 2 on, 2 outs for the Baltimore second baseman. Can Dower deliver? He cannot. It's a fly ball to left. Tim Raines in his tracks. And that retires the side. After 3.5, we are Montreal 1, Baltimore nothing. Tim Wallach leads off, followed by Warren Cromartie and Chris Spire. If anybody gets on, it'll be Doug Flynn here in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch to Wallach is a ground ball to Dower. He throws to Murray, and that's 1 out. Warren Cromartie, the right fielder for Montreal, lines another hit. Base hit for Cromartie. He's 2 for 2. With 1 out, Spire comes to the plate. 1 out, 1 on for Spire. And Chris lines shot at Dower. 2 down. And it'll bring up Doug Flynn with a man on first. Cromartie Cromartie. Flynn. Not much with a stick. Fly ball to right. That's going to be Dan Ford coming in. He's got it. And that's 3 outs in the 4th. We go to the 5th. And Montreal is still leading 1-0. Top of the order for Baltimore. Bunbury, Gulliver, Singleton. The pitch to Bunbury is a ground ball to short, hammered at Spire. Spire throws to Oliver, and that's 1 out. Glenn Gulliver. Gulliver swings, and Gulliver hits a fly ball to right, way back. It might get out of here. Cromartie at the wall. He's got it. 2 down. Ooh, a good chance for Baltimore. Caught by Cromartie. And the pitch to Singleton. Kenny flies one to right, but this one's routine. Cromartie makes the play, and Lee is throwing a shutout, a 3-hitter through 5 innings. It's 1-0 Montreal. Tim Raines leads off for Montreal in the bottom of the 5th. Raines slams a grounder at third. That's Gulliver. Gulliver throws to first. 1 out. Al Oliver steps in with 1 out in the 5th against Dennis Martinez. He hits a fly ball to center. That's going to be Bunbury. 2 outs. And Dawson is 2 for 2 with a run-scoring double. The pitch to Andre is a single up the middle. Dawson's on with his 3rd hit of the day. Now they got to be thinking about running. Joe Nolan does not have much of an arm. He's a +4 behind home plate. Dawson is a 79. That makes him an 83. He's going. Carter steps in. He takes the pitch. There goes Dawson. The pitch, the throw, is not in time. Dawson steals second, and he's in scoring position for Carter. Carter takes strike 1. Dennis Martinez in another jam. The pitch to Gary is a fly ball to center field. And that's going to be Bunbury coming in a few steps, and he's got it. And that retires the side in the 5th. We go to the 6th, and it's Montreal 1, Baltimore 0. The pitch to Eddie Murray leading off the 6th is roped into right field. That's going to get into the right center field gap, and that's going to put Murray on second with a double. Nobody out. Lee facing his second jam, well, maybe his 3rd of the day. With nobody out, there's a runner on second. John Lowenstein at the plate. The pitch to Lowy is a fly ball to right. Cromartie's going to take it. Is Murray going to tag? Yes, he is. He bluffs the tag and stays at second. Doesn't want to challenge Cromartie's arm. With 1 out, he stays on second, and Cal Ripken Jr. comes to the plate. Chance to tie the game. The pitch to Cal is a strikeout. A big strikeout for Lee. And now we have Ford with 2 outs. Murray's still on second base. Ford is 0 for 1 with a walk. The pitch from Lee to Ford. Struck him out. That retires the side. The shutout's preserved. The lead is preserved. And the Expos lead 1-0. Jerry White. Jerry White leads off for the Expos in the bottom of the 6th. The pitch to Jerry is a ground ball to short. That's Ripken. Throws to Murray. 1 down. Tim Wallach Wallach, fly ball left field. That's going to be Lowenstein. He comes in a few steps and makes the play. 2 down. Cromartie. Dennis Martinez doing a nice job today. But he does trail. And the fly ball from Cromartie is also to Lowenstein. He's back a few steps, back a few more, but makes the play. And that's 3 outs in the 6th. We have a 1-0 Expo lead going into the top of the 7th. Joe Nolan leads off for the Orioles. Pitch to Joe is a single up the middle. No, I'm wrong. It's going to be fumbled out there by Cromartie. Nolan's going to try and take second. He will. And that's a man in scoring position again with less than 2 outs for Baltimore. They need a clutch hit. They need Dower to come through. Lee, the pitch. Ground ball to second. That's Flynn. Flynn throws to Oliver, and Nolan makes it to third. They have a man on third with Bumbry coming to the plate. They're going to start action in the Expo bullpen. Bill Lee and Bryn Smith start warming in the bullpen for Montreal. Bumbry with a chance to tie the game. Lee may be tiring. The pitch to Bumbry is a called third strike. 2 down. Gulliver. Chance to tie the game. Another runner in scoring position. He's been there. Chance to tie it. The pitch to Glenn. He lines a shot in the gap. Right center field. That's between Cromartie and Dawson. It'll go all the way to the wall. And that will score Nolan with the tying run. We're tied at 1. We've got Singleton, Murray, and Lowenstein due. That's going to do it for Lee. Charlie Lee went 6 2/3 innings. He allowed 6 hits, 1 run so far, but Gulliver is his responsibility on second base. He's allowed 3 walks, and he has struck out 7. He allowed no home runs, and the new pitcher for the Expos will be Bill Lee. Bill Lee, the left-hander, to face Singleton. Singleton is a switch hitter, but he is worse from the right side. Gulliver is on second base. He is not fast. In fact, he's slow. But they're not going to pinch run yet. They've tied the game. Singleton digs in against Bill Lee. The pitch to Singleton. Ground ball first, gloved by Oliver. He's going to flip to Bill Lee, and that will retire the side, but the Orioles tie the game on doubles by Joe Nolan and Glenn Gulliver in the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Dennis Martinez is still on for Baltimore. It's 1-1. Chris Spire, 8th place shortstop, leads off. And he sends a fly ball to the left. That's going to drive Lowenstein back. But he makes the play, and that's 1 out in the 7th. Martinez seems to be pitching the more tired he gets. Ground ball is second. That's Dower. Dower throws out Flynn. 2 down. And Tim Raines. The pitch to Raines is a strikeout. And that retires the Expos in the 7th. We go to the 8th. We have a 2-inning ball game on our hands. Bill Lee facing Eddie Murray. The pitch to Murray is a ground ball base hit to left field. Between Spire and Wallach, Murray's aboard. Lowenstein is due. Lowenstein, as you see, is not a strong hitter against left-handed pitching, but he is a good bunter. And even though it's against Earl Weaver teachings, we're going to lay down a bunt for Baltimore and try and get the lead. Lowenstein squares around. He botched the bunt. He bunts it too hard. It goes to Bill Lee, who whirls and throws to Spire and gets the fielder's choice. And Lowenstein is now on first with 1 out. Cal Ripken Jr. Cal Ripken Jr. is up. How do they want to do this? There's a man on first. There's 1 out. Bill Lee is on the mound. They're going to let him face him. Lee to face Ripken. The pitch. Bill Lee strikes him out. 2 down. And Dan Ford comes to the plate. They've got some good left-handed bats on the bench. Montreal's going to keep them there by leaving Lee in the game and have Lee face Ford. Joe Nolan is on deck. He's a left-handed hitter. The pitch. Fly ball to right, and that's going to be Cromartie. And that retires the side in the 8th. The Orioles get the leadoff batter on, cannot bring him around. Dennis Martinez will not come out for the 8th inning. It's going to be Oliver, Dawson. Sorry, let's try that again. Let's try that one more time. Al Oliver, Andre Dawson, and Gary Carter will bat here in the bottom of the 8th. And they will face right-hander Sammy Stewart. Dennis Martinez went 7 very, very strong innings. He allowed 7 hits, 1 run. It was earned. He walked nobody and struck out 2 and allowed no home runs. Sammy Stewart comes on. He did not pitch in Game 1. This is his first appearance of the series. He is on the road, he is rated a C pitcher. And so he will face Al Oliver, who will lead off the bottom of the 8th. The pitch to Oliver is a ground ball base hit. Oliver's aboard, and Dawson comes to the plate. Oliver is on base. Nolan is still catching. He does not have a good throwing arm. He's a +4, as I said. Dawson will bat. He is 3 for 3. A double, a ribby, and a stolen base for Dawson today. Dawson is hit by the pitch. There's 2 on. Nobody out for Gary Carter. Earl Weaver pacing in the Orioles dugout. And that'll get John Flynn and Tippy Martinez warming up. Both pitched yesterday in Game 1. Stewart's in a jam. And the Expos have a golden opportunity to take the lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Al Oliver's on second. Excuse me. Andre Dawson's on first. We're going to have a pinch runner for Al Oliver. And it's going to be Frank Taveras. Now that Oliver's on second, Frank Taveras will pinch run. So it'll be Taveras on second. And Dawson on first. Taveras is a medium speed. And if Carter delivers a single, has a good chance to score. Carter is 1 for 3 with a single. Stewart to the belt. The pitch to Gary is a fly ball to center field. Bunbury, not possessed of the best throwing arm. Taveras holds at second base. No, now he takes off for third. Bunbury throws him out, and it's a double play for Baltimore. Dawson stays at first. Taveras stumbled but went anyway on the tag, and we have 2 outs and a runner on first for Jerry White. Wow, a base-running gaff by the pinch runner. The pitch to White is a fly ball to center. Bunbury's going to take this one too, and the defensive hero of the game for Baltimore makes the play. It is 3 outs. Bill the Spaceman Lee is still on. Joe Nolan, Rich Dower, Al Bunbury are due in the 9th. Stewart gets out of the 8th with no further damage. And how are they going to do this? Well. Bill the Spaceman Lee is still on to pitch for Montreal. Joe Nolan is 2 for 3 but will not be allowed to bat against the left-hander. And Gary Renicky pinch hits here in the 9th for Nolan. They could bring in the right-hander Bryn Smith, but they're going to wait. Smith is throwing in the bullpen, and so is Woody Fryman. Smith and Fryman are throwing in the bullpen. Renicky leading off against Bill Lee. He hits a fly ball to left. That's going to be taken by Raines, and that's 2 outs. Rich Dower. Rich Dower is stepping in against Lee, and that's going to do it for the left-hander. We have one defensive change that I did not give you, and that is that Terry Francona is the new first baseman, having replaced Taveras, who ran for Oliver in the bottom of the 8th. All right, so Francona's at first. Bill Lee is coming out of the game, and it's going to be Bryn Smith. Bryn Smith coming on in the top of the 9th. Bill Lee went 1 2/3 innings. He allowed 1 hit, no runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout, and did a very fine job holding Baltimore where they are. But now, Dower steps in. They're not going to pinch hit for Dower. The pitch to Rich against Bryn Smith. Dower rolls a single up the middle and past Spire for a base hit. Dower's aboard. Bumbry is up. Fryman is still throwing. But they're leaving Smith in to face Bumbry. The pitch to Bumbry is trouble. That's big trouble. Line down the right field line. It's past Francona into the corner. Cromartie gets it out of there and throws it in. They're going to hold Dower at third. It's second and third with one out. Another chance for the Orioles. But they have squandered opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to not only take the lead but blow it open in this game, and they have blown it. One out, second and third. That'll put Dower at third, Bumbry at second, and Glenn Gulliver, left-handed hitting third baseman, stepping in against Bryn Smith. Gulliver's 1 for 3 today. He drove in the only Orioles run with a double back in the 7th. He's also drawn a walk. Ken Singleton, the designated hitter, is on deck. How do they want to do this? Smith didn't get the job done, so they're pulling him, and they're going to the veteran, Woody Fryman. Woody Fryman comes on. He's a grade D at home, which is where we are. We are still in Olympic Stadium. And he will face Gulliver, except Gulliver will not bat. That's going to force Earl Weaver's hand to go to a right-handed pinch hitter. And so we're going to see Rick Dempsey come to the plate. He's going to have to come in the game anyway as the catcher. So he's going to bat for Gulliver here in the 9th. Second and third, the Expos infield is playing in. Dempsey at the plate and Singleton on deck. Dempsey against the lefty Woody Fryman. Rick Dempsey smashed toward left, knocked down by Wallach, but it rolls away. That's going to score Dower from third. Bumbry makes it to third. Everybody's safe, including Dempsey on the infield hit. First and third, one out, and Singleton coming up. Infield is in for Montreal. David Palmer is going to warm up for Montreal. So we have one out. We have Bumbry on third. We have Dempsey on first. And we have Ken Singleton coming to the plate. Singleton is 0 for 3 today with a walk and a whiff. To his credit, the infield is in. Singleton is digging in with a chance to pad the lead. Baltimore leads 2-1. The pitch to Singleton, and Fryman gets him with a breaking ball, and that's 2 outs. Eddie Murray. There's runners on first and third. 2 outs. Eddie Murray at the plate. How are they going to do this? How are they going to do this? Well, the options are to face Murray with runners at first and third, the most dangerous hitter in the Orioles lineup. with Woody Fryman. David Palmer is frantically warming up in the bullpen. Lowenstein's on deck. They would probably pinch hit for him. And they're going to walk Murray. Wow, they're going to walk Murray and see what Earl does with Lowenstein. The bases are loaded. There's 2 outs in the 9th. John Lowenstein is a platoon player and will not face Fryman, the left-handed pitcher. So, it's going to be Lenny Cicada. Cicada will pinch hit for Lowenstein here in the 9th. Fryman will face Cicada. The bases are loaded. There's 2 outs. Expos want to hold them where they are. The pitch to Lenny. And he hits one down the line past Wallach. That's going to get into the corner. Bumbry will score. Dempsey will score. Here comes Murray from first. He will be held at third. And the Orioles score 2 on a pinch hit double by Lenny Cicada. It's now 4-1 Baltimore. Cal Ripken Jr. coming to the plate. That's going to do it for Fryman, and it's going to be David Palmer coming on here in the 9th. 4-1 Baltimore. 4-1 Baltimore. David Palmer is an A-plus pitcher facing the right-handed Ripken. And Cal is up with 2 outs and runners on second and third. That's Murray on second. Murray on third. Cicada on second. And Ripken stepping in. Dan Ford on deck. Ripken's 1 for 4 today. A double and 2 strikeouts. And that is another base hit. Base hit. The Orioles have blown this thing open. Murray scores. Cicada around third. He will score. And a 2-run single by Ripken makes it 6-1. Orioles in the 9th inning. Dan Ford. Dan Ford's 0 for 3 with a walk and a whiff. And the nightmarish inning for Montreal finally ends with a ground ball to Spire. Spire throws to Francona, and that retires the side. But the Orioles finally explode with a 5 spot in the 9th inning off of 1, 2, 3 Montreal pitchers, none of whom got the job done. And Baltimore now leads by a score of 6-1 going to the bottom of the 9th. Storm Davis is coming on to finish up. For Baltimore, Stewart went 1 inning, no runs, 1 hit, no walks. He hit a batter, struck out none, and allowed no homers, and stands to win the game. Storm Davis is on. Defensive changes for Baltimore. Gary Renicky, who pinch hit for Nolan, will play left field. Lenny Cicada, who pinch hit for Lowenstein, will stay in the game at second base. Rich Dower will move from second base to third base, and Rick Dempsey will be the catcher in the bottom of the ninth. So the Orioles have a 5-run lead to protect. The Expos are sending Tim Wallach, Warren Cromartie, and Chris Spire to the plate in the bottom of the ninth. Wallach lines a single up the middle off of Storm Davis. The Expos aren't dead yet. Warren Cromartie is 2 for 3. The pitch to Cromartie is a ground ball to second. That's Sakata. Sakata goes to Ripken for 1, but that's all they'll get. And there's 1 out. Cromartie makes it to first base. Expos down by 5. Cromartie's not going to be too adventurous. Spire. Expos thinking about a pinch hitter for Spire. They don't have any good candidates. No, they don't. So it's going to be Spire to face Storm Davis. The pitch to Chris is an error check. We have an error check. It's a shot at Dower at third base. But Dower makes the play on a line out. 2 down. Doug Flynn, and they can't in good conscience let Doug Flynn be in a position to make the third out of the game. So it's going to be the unusual step of having Mike Gates pinch hit for Doug Flynn. I'm not sure Mike Gates has ever pinch hit for anybody in his life, but he's going to hit for Flynn today. With 2 outs, the left-hander Gates digs in against Storm Davis. There's 1 on. There's 2 outs. The Expos trail 6-1. And would you believe it? Mike Gates just delivered a base hit to right field. That's Ford gets it in, but Cromartie stops at second. He's not going to take any chances. He's trying to keep the Expos alive. Rain steps in. Timmy is 1 for 4 with a stolen base and a run scored way back in the first inning. He's also struck out today. Rains, 2 outs, 2 on. For Rains, the Expos leadoff man. And this ought to do it. Fly ball to center. Bunbury comes in a few steps and makes the play. Baltimore has tied the World Series for 1982 at 1 game apiece. Let's look at the totals. For the Expos in the 9th inning, no runs on 2 hits. They left 2. And that was it. The winning pitcher, although Dennis Martinez deserved credit for the win, he will not get it. Sammy Stewart, who came on to pitch the 8th inning and presided over a 5-run Oriole 9th, which put the game away, is the winner. He is 1-0 in this series. The losing pitcher is Bryn Smith. Bryn Smith was a disaster. He allowed 2 runs on 2 hits and spit the bit to give up the lead. And he is 0-1. Let's look at the line scores. For the victorious and visiting Baltimore Orioles, they scored 6 runs on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hits, and they committed no errors. For Montreal, they scored 1 run on 10 hits. 10 hits, wow. And they committed no errors. So we go to Baltimore for Game 3. The pitchers in Game 3 for the visiting Montreal Expos will be Scott Sanderson, the right-hander. Scott Sanderson is a very impressive A on the road, and he will face Jim Palmer, who is an equally impressive A at home. So we have a pitcher's duel shaping up in Game 3. So we go to Baltimore's Memorial Stadium for Game 3. The Expos and the Orioles have won one game each in Montreal. I certainly hope you hit like and subscribe to my page if you like what you see. This is a replay of the Retro Sports Network World Series for the 1982 season. And so far, we're tied, one game each. And we'll see you tomorrow right here for Game 3. Have a good day.